62624 Canton, and I didn't know they had this in Canton, Ohio. It's the First Ladies Museum. I have no idea who that is, but I know Michelle, and I know Barbara Bush, Lady Bird Johnson, who was a good first lady, but I have her issues with her, with the deal with Eartha Kitt. But this is the First Ladies Museum, and the whole town is kind of honoring professional football. The Pro Football Hall of Fame is here, and this is where professional football was started, in Canton, Ohio. Western PA and Eastern Ohio is where pro football started. And this is the guy, founder of the NFL, Ralph Hayway. And he owned an auto or car dealership. And if you look right there, you will see the Canton Bulldogs, world champions, and that's Jim Thorpe right there. One of the greatest American athletes of the 20th century. And the first Monday night football game was played in Ohio. The Jets and the Cleveland Browns. And the announcers, Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, and Dandy Dunn. But I don't know if Dandy Dunn was doing that. I think it was Keith Jackson was on the first Monday night broadcast. But those were the mainstays. I think Keith did a season or a few games, and then he left, and Dandy Dunn, the great quarterback from the Dallas Cowboys, who was with them from the expansion in 6 years, took them to 2 NFL championships, and unfortunately, they didn't win. They lost to Green Bay Packers, and Bart Starr and Vince Lombardi, who Vince Lombardi had Tom Landry's number. Even though they were on the staff together at the New York Giants, won a championship, Vince Lombardi was the offense coordinator, Tom Landry was the defense coordinator. And Vince Lombardi brought his defense to Green Bay, the 4-3 defense. Tom Landry was the father of the 4-3 defense. And this place right here, and upstairs is where the NFL started, their first meeting. Bender's Tavern. There's a bar up front and a restaurant, and it goes to all the way to the last brown building. You know, it goes brown, white, and brown. The restaurant goes back there, pretty expensive menu, pretty good food from what I've heard. We came to the bar last night, and back in the day it was a men's restaurant, and they had a bar and a trolley where the men used to relieve themselves. And over here was a separate entrance for the women's, ladies, Bender's Ladies Restaurant. And that's where they used to enter. So as I walk down, going towards Cleveland Avenue, and I walk down here, this is where it started. There should be a plaque over here that shows the original teams of the NFL. Because in Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio, they call it pro football because they were the first ones to pay football players to play football. Before that, it was the collegiate game and local teams, and they were the first ones to organize it. And as you see here, this is the National Football League. Was born here on September 17th, 1920. And these are the 10 teams. In attendance was also Jim Thorpe, called the greatest athlete of the 20th century. Well, I think it's Muhammad Ali. And George Halas, founder of the Chicago Bears, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. The 10 teams were the Akron Pros, the Canton Bulldogs, Decor Stanleys, Chicago Cardinals, Cleveland Indians, Dayton Triangles, Hammond Pros, Muncie Flyers, Rock Island Independent, and Rochester Jeffersons. This is it. This is where it started. So all the little boys and girls that are playing football, this is where it started. You know, and Pro Football Hall of Fame is here. And I was lucky enough to play in the NFL, and I feel a kinship to this place, even though it was segregated. But at the time, it didn't start being segregated because you had guys like Fritz Pollard, who was an NFL player and coach. But this is the Ralph Hayes meeting. This was the meeting. This is how the NFL started, over beers and automobiles. Let me see if I can get this. I can get this. Hopefully I don't get hit and this street becomes my cooling board. But this is where it started. It's a pretty neat town. This is the downtown area. They put a lot of money into this, into these like Rust Belt cities that lost a lot of the industry. This was a automotive plant town driven by the Ford factories in the 70s. Lost that, and a lot of car dealerships and what have you. But that's nothing unique to towns in the Midwest, but they've adjusted, and it's a pretty good town. And Canton, do justice, love kindly, walk humbly, and a Bible verse. So let's see what else we have here. This is another placard that they have. Monday Night Football. Yep, Cleveland Browns, 1970, faced the New York Jets. I love Monday Night Football because I used to watch it with my father, starting in, I think, 73. I know by 74. And 11 greatest moments in professional football history, birth of the NFL, 1920, Red Grange, turns pro. Pete Rozelle, the Ice Bowl, which the Dallas Cowboys lost, I told you about that. Super Bowl III, the Jets, the 68 Jets, and Monday Night Football. And this is just an alleyway. Keep going, there's a bunch of restaurants and bars, entertainment system. Like I said, the NFL or the town or the state or the Fed, maybe even Joe Biden's infrastructure, some of the money went here. And this is the town hall, I believe, has to be. And you have pretty nice statue, and then you have Justice up there, Lady Liberty, and the cherubs up there blowing the trumpets in the four winds, east, north, west, south, or everybody go northwest, east, west, north, south, east, and west. And this is William McKinney, who was president and the second president ever assassinated that held office. First was Abraham Lincoln, and then he was assassinated September 14th, 1901. Ohio. And the reason why Ohio has so much history, you know, everything else was added, but I believe it wasn't one of the 13 original states, but it came along, and so there's a lot of history here. A lot of history here, you know. So this is the clock tower, and those are cherubs once again, and it was rededicated in 2003. And as we rolling, baby. The Geo Harder Bank, established right after the Civil War, 1866, right after the Civil War. There's a Pro Football Hall of Fame marathon. I don't know if that was an establishment or they have a marathon. As you see, you got your different restaurants, bars, carpe diem, seize the day. Sports bar. Damn, he's at the bar early with an eye opener. There's somebody sitting at the bar this morning. I might go in there and have a Bloody Mary with them and have me an eye opener. They've done a lot with the storefronts. Some of them are empty. They haven't really put a bunch of residential buildings here, but I think that might be next. Coon Restoration. Jesus Christ. Clarence Thomas has his own deal down here. Coon Restoration. But this is a little plaza that they've done. And a sports bar. And I imagine when the Hall of Fame is here, this thing kind of picks up. Arcadia Grill back there in the back. This is pretty cool. For an old Rust Belt town of about 70,000 people. You know, still kicking. And this is part of America. I don't say it's the real America, because in my opinion, the real America is the big cities. Devin Hester, oh, missed that. They have an Italian-American festival right after the 4th. Let's see what we got here. Another sports bar. Everything's built around the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Good morning, how are you? Renovating? I think it used to be an old R&B club. We went to a great one last night. Culture Club, law office, center court, professional building. Yeah, a lot of professional buildings, a lot of retail. Only thing they need, well, that's a residential building right there. The Canton Towers. So we're in the art district, which I don't see a lot of art, but besides the pro football stuff. And I believe this is the end of it on 6th Street. We came down here yesterday for lunch, and I'm gonna show you the restaurant that we ate at. And it serves Thai food, sushi, Japanese, and even has American food. But the food was absolutely excellent. And so I got the pad thai with the eggs, no chicken but shrimp, and they go on a scale of 1 through 5. I got a 4, and it was hot. It was absolutely hot. The Basil Asian Bistro, and yeah, it worked me over. Really good. So this is the end of it. And yeah, so I'm gonna turn around, head back to the hotel. People are up though. What's up, brother? How are you? I don't know if we got a domestic situation over there, but she's upset. But I'm gonna keep it moving. Bye, guys.